Hello, my name is Teddy, and today we're going to look at addict or a dictionary in Python. So we can define addict as a data type in Python that's a collection of items that are represented in key value pairs, and the data contained in those items can be changed, and the data is also indexed. Okay, so in a layman's translation is assuming you have the Oxford Dictionary that contains all those words that you want to look for their meanings. Okay, so each keyword has got its own meaning. So the relationship between the keyword and its meaning is what we are calling a key value, a pairs in Python. So that item is what represents a dictionary, okay, or a dict in Python. So you can have 1, or you can have 1,000 or 10,000 key value pairs. So simply that's what we mean by a dict. Okay, so for example, you go to a place and you're given a form to fill the name, the email, and the phone number. So you have a name, then you fill in the value. You have an email as the key, you fill in the value. A phone as the key, you fill in the value. So that whole set, or that whole representation, is what we are calling a dict. Okay, so we're going to look at different operations that can be carried out on a dict, starting with creating a dictionary, accessing elements, how to add data to a dictionary, how to count elements, modify, and other operations that can be carried out on that collection. Okay, so let's get started. So let's get started by looking at how to create a dict in Python. There are two ways of doing that. The first one, you use curly braces. The second one, you use a dict keyword or function to create a dict. So let's get started by looking at the first one. So you say a, which is our variable, is equal to open and close the curly braces. So if you print a just to get the output, it should give you an empty dict. If you check the type of data that is printed, it will give you a dict. Okay, so there we have our dict. So what if we want to create a dict that has elements? Okay, so let's just comment this. So you say a equals to open and close the curly braces, and then you start by saying name, which is your key, full colon, and then test, which is your value. So you have a key and a value. Okay, so that qualifies to be a dict. So if we just print our data, okay, which is our a, what are you going to get? It should give you a dict with one item, which is name and test. So if we check the type, just to confirm if it's a dict, it's going to give you what? It's going to give you a dict. Okay, so there we have our dict with items. Okay, secondly, we are going to use the keyword addict to create our dict. Okay, so you can say a equals to dict, and then open and close round brackets. Okay, then inside you start with the key, then you say name equals, so we are not using colon, we say name equals, and remember the name is not in quotes, so you say name equals to test. Okay, or test2. Okay, so that's the syntax when you want to use the keyword dict, okay, or function dict. So you just give the key without the quotes, then you say equals this one. You can also add another and say email equals test at test.com. okay, so if we print our a, it's going to give us what? A dict that has got two items, a name and an email. Okay, so if we check the type, what is it going to give us? It's going to give us a dict. Okay, so we have successfully created a dict in Python using the two ways. Okay, now that we have created our dict, let's look at how to access the values in the dict. Okay, so there are two ways. The first one, you say name, you can say name value, okay, is equal to a dot get. Use the get method to get the name. Okay, then you say name. So if you print the name value, okay, what are you going to get? You're going to get your name test2. Okay, we are using this dictionary, okay, or dict. So if you want to access the email, let's use another method. So another method uses square brackets. Then inside the square brackets you enter the key. Okay, so you can say email value is equals to a, then square brackets, quotes, then you say email. Okay, so if you print email value, let me just comment the name, you're going to get what? You're going to get test at test.com. So you can add more elements to the dict, okay, and then play around with how to access those the values of those items. Okay, so next we're going to look at how to add another item to our dict. So for example, we want to add a mobile to our dict. How do you do it? So you say a, and then you start with the square brackets, and then quotes, then you say mobile. Okay, then you assign it a value, say 7168. Okay, so if you're going to print now our a as our dict, just to confirm that mobile is added, you do that, then you run, then you see your mobile is added. Okay, also if you want to add many items to a dict, use what we call update function. So you can say a dot update. Okay, so in update you start with that curly brace, then you say what value can we add? Let's say age 19, location the test location. Okay, so if you print our a, what are you going to get? You're going to get that these elements have been added. Okay, so that they are, so that helps us in a batch update of our dictionary or our dict. Okay, so that's how you add elements to your dict. Okay, so if you want to check the length or the number of items are contained in your dict, you use len function. Okay, so you say num equals to len, okay, then a. So if you print num, let's also print our a just to confirm that the tally is correct. If you run this, you're going to get 3. Okay, so you have name, which is test, email is there, then mobile is there. So that's how you count using len function. Okay, so you have 3 elements or 3 items. Next we're going to look at how to modify for example your mobile number to be a different number. So what do? You say a, let's just change the name, okay, equals to new name. Okay, so if you print our a, you should be able to see a different a. Okay, so let's just run the two. So our initial name was test, our final name is new name. Okay, so as you can see, we printed a here just before we modified, then we have our new a. So our dict as a new name. Okay, so that's how we modify our values in a dict. Next we're going to look at how to copy a dict. Okay, just comment this. Okay, so if you want to copy a dict, let's say you create a new dict, say new or n equals to, then you say a dot copy. So that's one way of copying. Okay, so if you print n, you should have the same items as a. There you have it. Okay, That's our N, that's our A, this is our A, this is our N. Okay. Another way of copying, you use dict to do the copying. So you can say M equals to dict and then open round brackets and say A. Okay. So if you print M, it's going to give you a new dict. Okay. So if we comment this, it's going to get our copied dict. Okay. So that's a way of copying our dictionaries. So next I'm going to look at how to delete a dict or remove elements or items from a dict. Okay. So let's get started by looking at how to delete now the whole dict. Okay. So we use del or delete operator, then we say A. Okay. So if you print A, you're going to get an error because the dict does not exist. Okay. MA is not defined, right? So that means the whole dict is deleted. Now, secondly, we are going to look at how to clear elements from a dict. Okay. So what we normally do, we use the function clear. So you say A dot clear. Okay. So if you print A, you're going to have an empty dict. Here it is. Okay. So that's another way. Now getting back to the elements. Okay. If you want to remove a certain element or item, for example, what do we have here? We have mobile. Okay. So if you want to remove mobile, you say A dot pop, then inside the pop you say mobile. Okay. So if we run this, we're going to get what? Name and email without mobile. Okay. So next, if you want to remove an item or the last item, we say a dot pop item. Okay. So if we run that, now that mobile was the last one, it's not there. Let's just add another element here. Say test equals to test. Let's run this. So the last one was removed, which is test. So the rest are there. Okay. So if you want to remove the last element, use a pop item. Also, if you want to remove a certain item, like let's say mobile, or let's say name, you say delete and then okay, say A, then you say name. Okay. So if you run this, you're going to get email and mobile. So the name is also removed. So those are some of the operations for removing items from a dict or deleting a dict. Okay. So next we're going to look at iteration in a dict. So as you have seen, a dictionary has key value pairs. Okay. So you want to iterate through the values and also iterate through the key value pairs. Okay. So use a for loop. You say for, let me just comment this, for x in A, then you print what? Print x. What are you going to get? You're going to get name, email, mobile. Okay. So those are the keys. Okay. What if you want to get the values? You say A dot values. Okay. So just going to get the values name, email, and mobile. Okay. So that's how you get the keys and how to get the mobile. What if you want to get both? Okay. So in doing so, let's just comment this and say for x y in A dot what we call items. Okay. You print x comma y. Okay. So if you run this, we are going to get key value pairs. So our name is new name, email is that, mobile is that. Okay. So that's how we iterate through the dict, then get the key and the value at the same time. Okay. Another way of accessing the values through iteration is by saying for x in a, say print, then you say a, then you say x. Now that x is our, it gives us the key. Okay, so to get the values you say ax. If you run that you get that. So you can also say x, or you can say x then ax. Okay, so that gives you the key value pairs. So those are some of the operations that can be carried out on a dict when doing iteration. Okay, just a recap, we looked at what a dict is, the different operations that can be carried out on a dict. So if you have any question, kindly post in the comment section below. If you like this video, kindly give it a like. Also, if you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe. Thank you, and see you in the next tutorial when we cover strings in Python. Thank you.